Oh, talk about a project piece. Okay, this one I bought at an antique mall, and it was together until I took it up to the register, and then it fell apart. So that one's not so bad. Now this one we just bought at an auction, knowing it doesn't. If I counted right, it should have all the pieces, but we got a situation here that's the bottom. So what do? That's not going to lay straight. So the fix is, you don't want to push on it too much. You can see the seam here is not cutting a new piece and making a new piece, but soaking it in water overnight and then applying pressure slowly with some weight to start to flatten it back out. So not a project that can be done like, okay, I just need to whip this back together, which that's not as easy as you think. Talk about a puzzle piece, but we need to do a little prep with this piece. So yep, I'm just going to fill this tub up with water and then just let it sit overnight, softening up that wood. And what am I doing with the crock? The wood is floating. So that's going to defeat the purpose. So I'm actually going to turn it this way where the hump is. And then I'm just going to set this very heavy crock on top of it. Trying to keep it under. All sounds good, right? There you go. At least it's staying under the water. That's what we needed it to do. And I'll see it tomorrow. So I let it sit overnight and I ended up putting these very heavy crocks on it. Now I have a beach towel out. I'm going to take it out of the water to let it dry out, but I'm going to put that same crock on top of it. So yeah, you don't want to just give up on the wood. Look, you can already see it's straightened, but it likes to be bent. So that's probably how it will stay. But so now I just need to let it dry out. This crock is like the perfect fit, actually, to, yep, now it just has to dry out.
Yvonne soaked this in water last night. I don't know if you saw that on the video, but it was a big U. And then we put some crocks on it throughout the day, and now it is laying really flat. Right here has swollen up pretty good. So I'm going to take the sander and just, you can see it's got a little bevel there. I think you can. There's a little rounded part here. I'm just going to make it a little flatter to hopefully get it to seat in properly. There, now you can see it's actually tapered off more, so hopefully that will fit.
Okay, this is not the fun part. This is the part where now what I do is I try to find, because there's paint, like you can tell that somebody swiped paint, and then these marks will line up. Like you can see this line right here. This is lining up. But of course, we have these pieces that are still attached. So if you look close enough, if you look close enough, you can see like a brush pattern. Like this is obvious, but like now it's like getting to the nitty gritty of trying to find brush strokes from where somebody had painted it, which isn't not always the easiest. And then you get thrown off because you're like, oh, well, those pieces. So it's just about trying to get it close right now. Oh, there. See, look, I have a pattern here that matches. Little pattern here of dirt that matches. I'm not positive that this one matches, just like the top and the bottom. Nobody said it was easy to play the matching game. It's a puzzle. I mean, you just have to pick your battles, right? And as I said, then you have to go here and then match it up there. But I feel like our job as creators, flippers, content creators, resellers, the whole point is to make everything look the best that you possibly can. Now, y'all see me shopping, and I love to find project pieces in people's booths, and I'm good with that. But I'm not sure if you put a firkin that was all tore apart in somebody's booth that they would be interested in it. I would be. I'd be like, yeah. With a hope and a prayer that it was going to have all the pieces that it needed to have. Okay, that one's good. Like, okay, I'm going to mark my for sure. Like, I know that you're a match. And I know that you're a match. And I'm positive that you're, you're a match. I got some others. I don't know. I think this one is too. So it should be like, looks like 6 and 6 on each side. So I'm thinking like this line matches up, and then I got a brush stroke on this, but then this looks a little short here. I know. Does that one look better over here? Does that one match up that line a little bit better? It might. Yeah, the pattern. Yeah, I think that one matches. I'm not sure if it's a 100-year-old firkin. I don't know how to age, like be able to tell the date, but it's a firkin. So for me, it's always worth it. Yeah, I think I'm getting it. Yes, that definitely, that there's a little mark here. And I think that's that. Okay, so see, I'm like, okay, there's a pattern here, I think. Pattern here, like the brush strokes seem to be going in the same direction. Like, there we go again, I think. So now I have to figure out who's who on which side. My match here. Oh, see, that's why tape is good. Wouldn't it be nice for it just to slip in like that? It probably is not going to, but okay, so got these 3 pieces. So we know, see, this is the bottom. You know that's the bottom because the band sits in there. Okay, then I need to remove the tape now because then now I got to try to work it around the base. So then now I can take that same piece of tape and I can tape that way because what I taped earlier is not going to tape. You know, it'd be nice if it would just all fit into the band, but that is not how that's going to work. And by the way the bottom was, I'm going to say it's been sitting apart for a while that the bottom warped like that. That's my guessing. But what do I know? I don't know its history. I do know that I'm not painting this piece. That's beautiful patina. That is some yummy gray. Okay, there's where you're like, please fit, please fit, please, 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 fit, 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 fit. Okay, let's play well with others in here. Well, it's supposed to be a tight fit. I might have to tape the inside, give myself a little bit of help. Painter's tape all over the place. Be entertained. Okay, now I'm back to this piece. Ooh. There you go. I got it to go in. Of course, it won't be a completely tight fit until we start putting the bands on it. Okay. Next, goes here on this side. I think so. Let me check this one out. Oh yeah, definitely. So looking at the paint strokes again, that definitely goes right there. See how there's this part, the bent wood, and how they wrap it. So when I'm doing it, I need to make sure that, and then I think those two are basically the same size. It's just double banded at the bottom. Let me take those off and double check. Now don't be intimidated, y'all, because really, if I wasn't trying to explain it at the same time, it's really, if all the pieces are here, that's huge. Because I've bought them a couple bucks at a sale, and then it's like, oh, they're not all here. Okay, well, gave it a good try. And matching up that curve, the bend, the curve, yeah. Some things are over our pay grade. We're not that type of woodworker. Chris is very amazing. But then to make it 100-year-old wood, All right, that's, yep. Okay. I think I'm going to, since I have these two together, I'm going to put those two in first. Let's get some more tape. Okay, and then that piece again. Hello. Slip it in there. Well, I still, as you saw, Chris took, because this warped and it didn't fit in the slats. So I still have to get that back on first. Hold on. Just the bottom. Maybe the bottom goes this way. Maybe that's my, I think I'm putting it in the wrong way. There we go. Yes, that needs to be there. I think there would have been blue painter's tape 100 years ago. Okay, so this is the bottom. That's the inside. This should go towards, that should go out. And I'm probably going to need more tape to hold it in place once I finally get it in there. I need a third hand. Okay. Here we go again. Funny because you think, oh, the tape's not in the way. Oh, yes, the tape, because it's such a tight fit with the bands that, yes, the tape is going to be in the way. See, you don't want that. You don't want that. Okay, I think I can start tapping. So you don't want to mar out the wood. So like a little stick. This is painter stick I'd used, cut off something. Hopefully you saw that video. And now you just work that band down. Yep, it's still in place. And you can see the mark. I need to try to get it all the way down. Hopefully it brings those gaps together, but it's old wood that, somebody, it's aged. So decor pieces, I probably wouldn't store any food in it. Now it's hard to believe that these are like your food storage. I think we're there. Now I gotta do the same thing with that. Yet again. Make sure my tape is off. And all my sides are touching inside. Line up my bands. That perfectly imperfect. Oh. When wood is in an unconditioned area, like it gets hot, cold, wet, moisture, humidity, freezes, defrosts, it swells, it changes. That's how it works. So those were those oldies. So, don't want anybody getting hurt on the nails. A beautiful lid. There we go. Beautiful. Patina, you leave. It's got a little bit of a loose. I don't know if I can get that nail out without hurting it, or just sometimes you leave that imperfection alone. There is a nail sticking out here a little.
So this one's smaller. I'm hoping that it's easier, which it does seem to be so far. Of course, with big fingers and big hands, who knows? So far, so good. Attention to. I'm going to have to tell Yvonne she needs to fill this up.
So Chris was put this one together. That's funny that when I was at Nashville, 66 Antiques, bringing it up, that it all fell apart in my hands. But yeah, so this one's all together. Though the lid does say cookies, and I think I'm going to do something about that part. People love stacks. And then, oh, I wonder if it broke. Like, see how, like when it, I didn't realize that. I bet you it broke when it dropped on the floor at the antique store. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have my handy dandy Star Bond. I will take a little of this Star Bond, a little of the accelerator, and we will get this. I got gloves on because I'm going to be using some Howards, but I didn't realize that had cracked. So we must fix it, right? We must. And I get that, like, you know, not everybody has the tools, the skill set, you know, to fix anything in their booth. Because somebody might have a broken piece like that at home that they need to kind of maybe know how to fix. Not an easy to get in this way. Probably going to glue my gloves on. Remember, they just tell a story. This is the story of how it fell apart at the antique store. Oops, daisy. I'm just going to let that sit up now. So we're going to take this and we're going to make it look amazing with some Howard's Restore. Though I'll do a little something different with the lid. So it's like magic in a bottle, y'all. Look at that. All those scrapes. Oh, hello. That is, if this is something everybody should have in their arsenal, and it's not expensive at all. It's like erasing them right away. Now, because I had to glue that spot, I'm going to sand it a little bit. It's not perfect, but it's better than being broken. Yeah, try to sand the shininess of the glue off. Such a small, thin area, it's kind of hard just to like, oh yeah, I'm just going to just do this spot. Nope. That one's missing. That could be like that the way it was, or okay, it still fits. So I'm going to try to just do Howard's Restore here, and then I was just going to paint that black. You could fill in that maybe, and the cookie. But first I'm going to put this on there. I mean, not as red. I do have red. Let me see. So I do have some mahogany. Yes, it does come in different colors, but I find that I have the best luck with just usually the dark walnut. So if you're going to invest in one, that's a good one to invest in. So it's a perfect, no, there again, it tells the story. So I'm going to get some Bondo. You know, Bondo's one of my good friends. So I'm going to go ahead and a little bit of putty, a little bit of the hardener. It probably had, of course, had a knob, but people like to stack firkins. If you've seen any of my home tours, you've seen I have a couple firkin sugar bucket stack tours, and I know this was AKA a cookie, but they like to stack them. So, and I was going to paint that black anyway, so I'm like, let me just fill in the hole. I've got all my supplies to do it because black kind of goes with a lot. So we'll just fill in the cookie and then I'll just sand it. I'm not going to worry about pushing it all the way through into the hole on the inside. I don't want it to like be a big, like noticeable. Now we'll just wait 5-10 minutes for it to set up and that we can sand it. Okay, my Bondo is hard now. I'm going to go ahead and get it sanded smooth. Biggest thing is like the field test, I think. I think that I got it. So I'm going to go ahead and shellac over it. So when I paint just that little bit of the top, it paints evenly. I'm hoping to leave the banding the brown color. Okay, let me just let that dry and then we can paint it. Now I don't want a shiny paint, so I'm going to use Little Black Dress by DIY. I want to try to make it look like this is the way it was supposed to be. Trying to using the angle brush is so nice because that'll follow that line of the banding. And then where I resand that, I'll just touch, when I'm sanding this, it would touch that. I'll just get some more of that Howard's out. I could help it along, but I don't want to put heat with it because then I'll bubble the shellac underneath. So I'm just going to let it dry. I only did one coat on it. You don't see the cookies anymore, so I'm going to take some more of that Howard's Restore. I'm going to go around those edges, and I'm going to go right over the top of it, which is probably going to take a little bit of that paint off, which is what I'm hoping for. So it doesn't just look like I just freshly painted it, because, you know, the clay-based DIY paint is, you can water distress. So that's what I'm going for here. Just water distressing it using somehow a traditional, probably not, but it is a liquid. And I don't want to go too heavily at where I put the Bondo, but I think that'll actually seal it all in.